Good morning, AO. I'm sorry I'm late. For whatever reason, now, this month, I have something new every month happening with trying to get on live with my laptop. This time it's saying it wouldn't connect my streaming software. So I'm back on my phone. So I may not see questions or comments or whatever that typically comes up. So I apologize for the technical difficulties. My name is Shelley Merrell. I'm here for a live mentor session. I have a few questions from the group, and I am going to give my perspective on what I would do if I were you. I'll start with my first question. David Mong. I'm not sure how to say your last name, David. It's Monge. Question: how do I instill good work ethics in my team? I have a team member that leaves at 5 p.m. and always does the bare minimum. Any suggestions? The background is I hired my first team member about 9 months ago. She mainly helps with clerical activities, setting appointments, and with follow up calls. She's smart and I know she has potential, but she does the bare minimum and always leaves at 5 p.m. on the dot. I don't know why that bothers me. David, I don't know why that bothers you either. When we hire somebody, we give them a very specific description of what they need to be doing, and it sounds like she's fulfilling that. So I'm not quite sure why that bothers you, other than the fact that you're passionate about your business and having the expectation that other people will be as passionate about your business is never going to suit you well, because that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to treat your business the way you treat your business. That's your baby. And as long as she's doing her job that she was specified to do, um, you're lucky. You're lucky if she's actually doing her job and you don't have any uh, issues with that. So I'm not sure why that bothers you either, but I would just do my best to get past that. If everything else is going good, then awesome, you got a good employee. Um, if you want her to stay late, you could possibly offer her overtime or tell her that you have other projects that could be done, and see if she takes it from there. But as far as your expectations, you can't put those on to other people. So sorry. I hope that helps. My next question is from Eric Blandino. Hi, Eric. I might see you in March. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure yet if I can make it or not. As of right now, I can't make it. But anyway, I'd like to get together again. Eric asked, what are ways to have our team members reprimanded when they are not doing what is expected of them without them feeling like they are threatened with their position? Background: we are in the business of giving people their homes back from the invasion of rats. We have daily huddles, and I bring up information and concerns that will help our techs give written that will help our techs and give written copies as well. I have let them know what is expected of them, and I have done write-ups too. The problem is I find myself going in circles at times with same issues being brought up. Our standard of three write-ups and our standard is three write-ups and your future is free. I love that you use that, future is free. I use that too. That was a great thing that Sean taught us in the beginning. So yeah, I really like that. Um, I can tell you, after being in this business for 30 years, I am still saying the same shit that I've been saying for 30 years. We still have issues with people not following through on their time cards. Like, you'd think they'd want to get paid, right? Turn in your time card or you're not going to get paid. Um, People are people, and you're writing them up, you know. That's good because then you do have the paper backup in case you want to terminate somebody. So that's good. Um, you want to reprimand them without them feeling like they're threatened with their position. Well, they are being threatened with their position, so maybe they should feel like they're being threatened with their position. One of the things, though, I I try to reiterate to my people here is that the word discipline comes from disciple, and the word disciple means to teach. So, what you could do is reiterate in your daily huddles or your employee meetings that if you get written up, it's not necessarily a negative thing, but that you're trying to teach them the way that you want things done. Um, and if you have one person that keeps breaking the rules repeatedly and all that stuff, maybe pull them in and have a private meeting and say to them, hey, this is how I want things done. I'm not sure why you're not doing it this way. What can I do to help you to start doing it this way? I've even gone so far as to explain my reasons that I need something done a certain way. And so far, that has been received very well. Like, if they realize that not turning in their time cards then causes Ashley a delay in getting her work done, and then she has to rush and get them entered, and then I have to rush and do payroll. Like, they don't necessarily realize that the problems that they can cause further down the road, and it is a domino effect. I mean, anytime somebody doesn't follow the rules, it's a problem, and it's a problem for other people, and then other employees see that too and could then follow in that same path. So my suggestion would be ask them, number one, to reiterate that you are trying to teach them the right way that you want things done, but then definitely ask them, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help you remember? Do you need a reminder card? Do you need a checklist, that you fill out at each job or at the end of the day? Maybe it's just somebody who has a bad memory, and people are different, that does happen. So those are some ideas that may possibly help you. I hope that does help. My next question is from Robin. Hi, Robin. Do you recommend sending holiday cards to potential prospects, business connections, and current clients? Thank you so much. Robin is with Art for Calm. As an artist, I help people feel moments of calm through my oil paintings of sunsets. And your paintings are very beautiful, by the way. Excuse me, we've had all kinds of crazy weather here, so I'm coughing and losing my voice once in a while. I think I answered this last month, Robin. Yes, I highly recommend sending cards. If you have the time to do it and you want to invest the money, to do it in the postage and the card itself and the time it takes to address them. Sending a personal card with a personal note is always a great touch, and I highly recommend that. So yeah, go ahead, do it. Have at it. I guess I should say it can't hurt, So anyway, okay, my next question is from Robin again. And Robin asks, what strategy would you use to speak with a gallery or company to help sell your art if you were an artist? I'm an independent artist, and I's called Art for Calm. I asked this to know how to approach possible galleries or sales agents to help increase revenues. Thank you so much. Okay, a couple of things I would do is there's a lot of different Facebook groups and stuff. I would join as many of those as possible and then start interacting in conversations with people who may be these sales sales agents or gallery owners, you may come across some of that. And you can establish, just like we've established in AO, we've established a lot of relationships where we've never even met each other, but yet you still develop a friendship or a relationship. It's kind of the same thing. So I would, if I were you, I would go on to all the different Facebook groups that have to do with art and galleries. LinkedIn, you could start just having messages here and there, and that kind of stuff will then start developing those relationships so that you can approach them a little further down the line. I wouldn't just, hey, how you doing? Will you sell my art? You want to kind of finesse it and establish a relationship. Make sure it's somebody you want to work with too. Because the last thing you would want to do is trust somebody with your artwork and then have something bad happen, like they steal it or it disappears. Who knows? Anything like that. So yeah, those are the things I would do. Just start getting those relationships built and set up. The next question is from Shane Noble. Hi there, Shane. How do you get employees to follow outline processes? His background is a construction business. We have processes outlined so that the product goes on correctly and also functions correctly. We also have this outlined so we can gauge how quickly the project can be done and set the expectation with the customer. That's great. I'm kind of in construction too. I'm fire protection. So I'm always part of the construction process, so I understand this stuff. Back to how do you get employees to follow the outline processes? I am a big fan of having those processes on video. I think it takes away any questions that there may be from them just reading the processes in a book. A lot of times things are subjective, but if you have video training going over your processes, it takes away all the questions and makes it something they can refer back to so you're not answering the questions over and over. If they're not following the outline processes, you could start a 3-part write-up process. There are forms out there. For instance, my form, it has 3 parts and it's I forget what they call it, carbon copy or whatever they call it. But the first write-up goes through to the main, through all the rest into the main page. Then there's a second page. If you have to write them up a second time, that goes, it carbon copies onto that bigger. I'll have to show it to you guys. I'll do a video and show you guys. But basically, it's a 3-part write-up, and at that third write-up, you can terminate them. It gives you your backup that this has been a repeat offense. And another thing you could do is possibly start like a contest. If for positive reinforcement, maybe the people who follow the outline processes get a certain token or something, and then at the end of the month the person with the most tokens wins, I don't know, a TV or something, I don't know, or dinner tickets or something like that. You could do that where they're actually competing to get their processes all correct. It does take a little bit of tracking, but it could help get some good habits established. So that is that. Hopefully that helps. So you can either go the negative way or the positive way. Positive always seems to work out better. Okay. I've got another question from Shane. How do we show new employees, existing employees, that our process for doing certain things with the job is the way we want them done? Same background. We're in construction, and the saying is there are 1,000 ways to get it done and still be at the end result. We would like them to do it our way so that we can guarantee an outcome along with how long we are on the jobs to be finished correctly. I get that. Um, and you're right, not everybody does everything the same way, and as long as you get the same outcome, then you're golden. But I can also understand wanting to have a certain process done because then if somebody forgets, it becomes clear as to who forgot and where the ball got dropped. How do you get in place to follow outline processes? So again, I would put those processes on video, maybe have an employee meeting, have everybody review the videos. Like if you have a conference room, you could put them up on a screen so that everybody's watching them at the same time. They could sign off that they did watch it, and this is, an acknowledgement that they've been made aware of those processes. You could give them a checklist to follow those processes. Maybe they're forgetting. Like I said on the other question, it could be that they've never done it like that before and it's new and they just have to establish the habits. And again, you could still do some kind of an encouraging contest, giving people tokens or something to the people who are doing it correctly, and then at the end of the month, give them something really cool. Or if they're all doing them correctly, you could even do like a raffle of the people who's doing it correctly so that you still end up only giving away one thing. Because everybody might be like, well, I did it. But that might help with getting those habits established. But I do highly recommend getting them on video. Somebody could film you going through an entire process, and then it's almost like put in concrete almost. It just really helps. Okay. Oh, Shane. This is another question from Shane. How do you hold managers accountable for when they don't do the things they need for their job deadlines? Okay, so again, that goes back to making sure that the deadline is acknowledged and clear. And then if they don't reach the deadline, write them up. If you've got somebody who keeps breaking your process rules and isn't reaching deadlines, and they understand why the deadlines are important and all that's already been made clear, maybe you need to fire that person. Some people just absolutely refuse to do things the way we want them to do, and as Sean would say, sometimes those people need their futures freed up so that they can find what they will like doing. But as far as holding them accountable, I recommend writing them up, have a meeting, and go into detail as to why these processes are important to be done the same way, that it affects the other employees. A lot of times when you put it on them that they're affecting their coworkers, they sometimes tend to be more, I don't know, they just seem to come around a little bit better. That could work for you. Okay. Gabs. I have a question from Gabs. I hope you're doing well, Gabs. How can I start figuring out what processes to develop and how many people to hire so that we're not overly dependent on any one particular employee? Background. Our business is currently doing $1 million a year in revenue. We have 3 partners who all actively work in the business, 7 employees, and a lot of contractors we work on project by project basis. We have also outsourced some of our processes. For example, a fulfillment center handles shipping orders from our e-commerce store. Everything works well when everybody's at their desk, but things start to get difficult when you remove any one person because of vacation or sickness. If it's a key employee that falls out for a couple days, an entire process might completely stop for that duration. and the employee needs to play catch up when they return. I'm looking to make our company less dependent on any one person, but hiring backups for everybody is not financially feasible. I'm thinking we could make 1 to 2 people work. We could make an additional 1 to 2 people work, but what do they do when the number one person for the job is not out sick or on vacation? When I read this, I can completely commiserate with you on this particular topic because we have the same thing happen here. And it's really frustrating because, you can't have a backup just sitting there waiting for the main person to not be there. I get that. That's hard. One of the things I thought about is possibly seeing what you could automate if there is anything within that set of processes that can be automated and cut out some of the human interaction, that would be great. I know Jonathan here in our group does a lot with automation. Several people in here know how to automate things and help with that, which is really great. Other than that, I would say if you have your processes documented and there's a video tutorial, then anybody should be able to watch those videos and be able to pick up the slack on what the other person is missing out on. Again, I always come back to those training videos. That's huge. Having specific job descriptions, that spell out every single process. Because actually, what if somebody dies? What are you going to do then? You're going to have to replace that person and train them. So if you have the person who's doing the process do the video tutorial and explain exactly how they do it, how they want it done, this, that, and the other, then it's in your archives. And you can always go back and pick that up and figure out how to pick up that process. You could have a particular checklist for each person. Not that they necessarily fill it out every day, but it could be a checklist that you have as a guide that when John is out, then I can go through this checklist and see, yeah, this was done, this was done, this was done. We need to do this. It could be as simple as that. Have each person make a checklist of their daily chores. That could work. Actually, as I'm talking, I might make those for my company. So anyway, I hope that helps because you're always, anytime you have employees, you're always going to have people issues. Can't help you on that. Like, we can just do our best to work around the issues, and that's hopefully will help. Okay, so my next question, and I think it's my last question. My last question is from Darby. Hi, Darby. Okay, question. Is it okay for management to suggest privately to an employee that they should be cautious in their personal lifestyle because it is affecting others at work? I realize this is legally a touchy topic, and I'm not even sure I've asked the question appropriately. We have an employee who lives a very open and free-spirited lifestyle, which is fine. Personal is personal. But it is now affecting work and team members. The employee in question, though fully vaccinated, enjoys frequent huge gatherings, even while knowingly sick. She has had the flu twice in Q4 and COVID 5 times since the beginning of the pandemic. She then comes to work and spreads it, sometimes without symptoms. Is it a legal no-no to talk to her about being considerate with her personal lifestyle, since her continuously getting sick has now caused other team members to miss work due to catching things after spending the day with her? Yeah, that is definitely a very, very, very touchy subject. I don't know what state you're in. All of our guidelines come out of our county. And of course, they're changing every day, but I get the email updates. And so we're constantly updating whatever is happening with the county regulations. And if I were you, I would put more focus on the entire company, focusing on your county regulations, which I'm sure there are some, and writing specific policies, possibly. And most counties, I think, actually have. I'm trying to think what my county has. But I think a lot of them have kind of like a boilerplate or template that you could work off of. Um, this is a subject that I would consult with a professional human resource person on, just to keep yourself out of trouble, because it is a touchy subject. No, I would not address that. I would go to my HR professional and seek advice from them. I would focus more on the county rules that's being put out, and then basically place the blame on the county. It's we're in a pandemic. Everybody has to work together. It makes it even harder when the CDC is changing the guidelines every day. Now suddenly, nurses who are positive but asymptomatic can now go to work. Like I'm having a hard time following all this too. So definitely consult with a local HR person, and yeah, just kind of use your county guidelines as the bad guy, really. So anyway, that is all of my questions. Hopefully, you all have gotten something out of this. I love to add value when I can. And I will see you all next month, and you have a wonderful day. If I can find out how to get off of here.